Good morning. This is KELOLAND on the go with all you need to know in news and weather as you start your day.
Authorities in Pennington County say a body found south of Hill City last week is being investigated as a homicide. The sheriff's office has identified it as 21-year-old Sahela Sangrate of Box Elder. She was reported missing back in August.
A hiker found the body on March 4th. If you have any information on what may have happened to her, contact the Pennington County Sheriff's Department. You can find the number under this story on KELOLAND.com.
The South Dakota Attorney General's office has released the name of a man found dead in Scotland, South Dakota. 85-year-old George Vernazani was found early Tuesday afternoon in downtown Scotland. His cause of death was determined to be exposure to sub-freezing temperatures. He was seen on surveillance video around 3:30 a.m. and at that time, temperatures were between 25 and 30 degrees. Some positive news this morning for people who live near the Takini School on the Cheyenne River Reservation. Wednesday evening, Governor Larry Roden posted that the wildfire is under control. He says there are still some hot spots, but they're surrounded by areas that have already burned. As you can see in this picture, the charred area surrounds the Takini community, which led to evacuations and canceled classes at the school. There's no school today, but staff will be allowed back in to air out the building and get it ready for students. Now let's get a check on our weather with meteorologist Scott Munt. Good morning, Scott.
Good morning, Summer. Good morning, everybody. Temperatures today in the 70s to near 80 degrees. We'll have to keep an eye on the record books as temperatures do approach 80 in parts of south central to southeastern South Dakota. We'll also watch these dew point temperatures as we do make our way into tomorrow. We'll have some higher dew point numbers found across southeastern South Dakota. Along with that, we'll watch for thunderstorm development as we do go into the later part of the afternoon as these dew point temperatures do eventually climb middle to upper 40s. Some areas may actually hit the 50s for dew point temperatures in southeastern KELOLAND. That will help feed the possibility for thunderstorms as there is that risk for severe weather in southeastern KELOLAND. So our forecast in the meantime today, numbers will reach the 70s to near 80 degrees. Brian will have more details on your forecast coming up.
Thank you, Scott. A Sioux Falls restaurant's downtown location is now open.
On Wednesday, Shenanigans Sports Bar and Grill opened its second location inside what was previously Papa Woody's in the Cascade at the Falls Park building.
We're 11 a.m. to midnight daily here, no matter what, and that's one of the main things that we want people to know is that we'll have good food later on in the night, especially in the summer. We're happy to be part of the downtown area.
For St. Patrick's weekend, the restaurant will have live music along with a shuttle for people every 30 minutes going from its two locations.
KELOLAND Media Group announced a large donation to the Great Plains Zoo on Wednesday. The Next Star Media Charitable Foundation and KELO presented the zoo with a $5,000 check.
The money will be used to help bring the Great Plains Zoo and the Butterfly House and Aquarium onto one campus.
We're working together to build a regional destination that's going to bring tourists, but also be an amazing amenity for our community here in Sioux Falls and the surrounding areas, and we couldn't be more thrilled to have KELO as such an important partner in that mission.
The contribution will also support the creation of a 350,000-gallon shark reef on campus.
It's a good time to be a golfer in the Sioux Falls area.
The city's 3 public courses are open through tomorrow. While this week is just a soft opening for the courses, it's a treat for golf lovers.
We just want to kind of give people this opportunity because everyone's itching to get out after winter.
This isn't the official opening of the courses. Clark says they'll close after Friday with an official season opener to come later.
That's a look at some of our top stories.
Now let's get another check of your forecast with meteorologist Brian Karstens. Brian?
All right. Well, good to take advantage of the warm weather, do some golfing, but then put the golf clubs away for at least Saturday. Don't worry about that. You're not going to be golfing then. It's going to be a lot different with the weather coming up. Now let's go through this. First of all, we've got a red flag warning today. That does include Sioux Falls. It includes Yankton and much of south central and southwestern South Dakota. So that's because of the 70s, the very warm air, and obviously the entrainment of dry, low humidity levels incorporated into that forecast. So again, that's through early this evening. Wind forecast today. It's a steady south wind. A lot of our forecasting is 15 to 30 on those numbers. That includes Sioux Falls, Marshall as well, even though some of these areas outside the red flag warning, technically not at those levels, but you're still very warm and pretty breezy. Now, notice what the wind does late tonight in Rapid City. It goes down. In fact, it goes down to almost zero. Be very, very light. But there's a big change coming. There's a northwest wind that's going to come howling into Rapid City mid to late morning. It's going to be jumping 40, 50, eventually getting into the 60-mile-an-hour range. Sioux Falls in the southeast will see a stronger southeast wind. Now, that's going to do a couple of things. It'll keep our temperature overnight very warm, but it'll lead to more 70s tomorrow in the far southeast. And then we just set up this big battle of the air masses here. You got your colder winds rushing into western South Dakota all day tomorrow afternoon. Some rain, some snow with it. Not a lot of widespread heavy moisture, though. We're looking at probably just showers and, again, just a cold, blustery day. In between, there's kind of a middle zone where there's a break there in the middle of the James Valley late tomorrow afternoon. But ahead of the low, northwest Iowa, we're talking thunderstorms. And we think some of those could graze Sioux Falls. There's probably going to be some embedded severe weather with that. Wind is one thing. And then we turn the page into early Saturday morning. Do you notice how much wind we've got west of Sioux Falls? That's a concern because when that starts pushing toward Interstate 29 after midnight, it's going to pick up some snow with it. And then it's going to be driving that snow sideways at 40-plus miles per hour. Now, how much of that sticks to the ground is another question. I've seen this before where heavy, wet snow, I'm sure some of it will stick to the ground, and I would be advising you to watch the forecast as we have to reconcile that at the end of the storm. Here's another look at the severe weather parameters from the Storm Prediction Center, and much of Iowa is under the gun for slight, enhanced, and even moderate risks of severe weather. Sioux Falls is in the marginal category, so we still have to watch that. The temperature outlay, again, we begin with the 70s today, very widespread. Then tonight, overnight lows unseasonably warm, close to 50 in the Sioux Falls area. That would probably be near record territory for a daybreak low. And then during the day tomorrow, you can see most of the precipitation is cast into western South Dakota. Scattered showers, a lot of wind. Sioux Falls, I can't rule out a couple of sprouting showers or a brief thunder shower, but you got to wait probably till after 3. The main forcing, that punch, is going to come up out of northeast Nebraska. And these small, low-top storms, you know, this time of year, the ingredients are a whole lot different than they are in the middle of the summer. But we can certainly get some storms to pop, and the modeling seems to support that idea into the early evening. And then that whole band would move its way to the north, and then rotating around that, eventually we start to cool things down. It's all because of this low pressure center out of Colorado. And when you look at the whole region, too, there'll be a lot of weather stories tomorrow. Unfortunately, for parts of Kansas, Oklahoma, and Texas, a wildfire outbreak is likely with conditions very, very dry and windy. And then one final note, if there's going to be near blizzard weather, that's possible. It's something we've got to think about. I-29, kind of the bullseye right now, but again, just how much snow we get and how that all plays together, I would say let's keep watching the forecast. All right, let's wrap it up here. Sioux Falls 7-day, you're down in the 30s on Saturday, 40 Sunday. Then, we've got to jump back up again. Monday, highs in the 60s. And 70s across South Dakota. But there's another storm coming next week. And that will, of course, we'll pay attention to more on that once we get the first one to move through. Check out more details. We got a lot of information today online at kettleland.com.